What up, what up, what up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to review Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 6, Episode 18. So if you haven't seen the 18th episode of Season 6 of Tyler Perry's Sistas, turn this video off right now. Go watch the episode and come back and watch this video. And like this video and subscribe to my channel because it's a simple and free way to support your girl. It literally takes less than 4 seconds to do. So you can definitely hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because I don't only review Sistas, I review other shows as well, like Tyler Perry's The Oval, which I just finished doing. So if you watch that show, go check that out. Go check that review out too. I'm not a public speaker, so I will tend to fumble my words. You're going to hear me say, so, like, 1,000 times. It is what it is. I might stop to regain my thoughts. I'm definitely going to be looking at my notes that I take throughout the show. And anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. And also comment below what you would grade this episode, what you thought of this episode, what I talk about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, all that good stuff. Comment below. I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. I'm going to grade this episode a very high grading because it had me like, oh shit. So I'm going to give this episode B+. This episode was really good. Like I said, Sistas been stepping their game up this mid-season premiere. I've been appreciating it. So I'm definitely giving it a high grading, giving it its praise. This episode was very good. So last chance, if you haven't seen Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 6, Episode 18, turn this video off right now because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. Let me get a swig of water. My mouth dry as hell. All right. So the episode continues off from where it ended in the last episode, where Andy, Sabrina, and Danny are on this triple date at Jordan's house with Jordan, Rich, and Tony, and Gary is there all of a sudden. So first I ain't even gonna lie. First I thought Gary was doing his typical Gary shit and stalking Andy, but then this shit turned into some totally different mess. So I was like, oh shit. So that's why I had to give it such a high rating. But anyway, we're going to get straight into it. So Gary, he's still pretending like he don't know Andy and they've never met or whatever. And he keeps insisting to Jordan that he has to leave. So me, I'm thinking like, oh, he trying to get up out of here because he done seen what he needed to see. And now he feel like he going to be on Andy's mind the whole night. That's why he trying to get up out of here. That was my whole thought process because Gary just a geek and like a weird ass nigga. So I thought he was there to like scope out and see how Andy was feeling Jordan and also to throw her off. So the whole night she'd be wondering like, damn, like Jordan know Gary and why was Gary here, da-da-da. So that was my whole thought of the whole thing. So Gary telling him, I really gotta go. Jordan telling Gary like, stay man, you never get to hang out with us. You always traveling, da-da-da, doing this. Gary's like, all right, well, let me at least go make a phone call. I would come right back. So Sabrina and Danny, they're sitting with Rich and Tony at the table, and then Sabrina and Danny notice that Gary is over there, and it throws them off. And that's when Rich and Tony are like, oh, y'all know Gary? How y'all know Gary? So they like, oh, we know him from around the way. And I was just like, why ain't nobody saying shit? Like, because I thought Gary was trying to be there. I thought he was there to be funny. So I was like, why ain't nobody saying nothing to make this nigga feel dumb? Like, I was just like, why is nobody saying nothing? But then we found out later. So Danny and Sabrina, they get up to go over to where Annie, Jordan, and Gary are. Gary's like, oh, mother of God, when you see Danny and Sabrina. So I'm like, what is really going on? So I was really like, what is really going on? Like, why you there to stalk Andy but then get mad because her girls are there? So just like I said, this whole episode threw me off. That's why I was like, I had to give it such a good grading. So Gary, he continuously trying to escape, saying I gotta go. Sabrina and Danny come over like, hey Gary, what's going on? Like, how do you know Jordan? So Gary's like, I wouldn't want to bore you ladies. Still consistent on, trying to leave or whatever. So the ladies, all three of them, they go in the house. They discussing what's going on. Like, why is Gary here? What's going on? Like, what happened? They wondering why Gary didn't mention that he dated Andy or whatever. And I was wondering it too. I was like, what the hell? Well, my thought, like I said, I had my thoughts on why Gary didn't say nothing. But I was wondering why the ladies didn't say nothing, why Andy didn't say nothing. So Danny gets to, well, you know me, you know Danny. She's like, I want tea. So she goes out to call Gary in there with them. Like, come here, Gary. Let us talk to you for a minute. So Gary comes in, and then all the rest of the guys come in. The guys steady trying to get Gary to stay. Gary's like, I gotta step back out. Let me just step out and make a phone call. So he steps out back to take a phone call. All of a sudden, Jordan's little sister comes in. Pregnant little sister comes in. Jordan introduces her all to all the ladies. And the sister is constantly asking for Gary. So as soon as I saw her asking for Gary a lot of times, I was like, oh my God, here we go with this bullshit. I was like, here we go with this bullshit. Man, I got weed on my tongue, my lip. I was like, here we go with this. But as soon as she came in and started asking for Gary too much, I was like, okay, I already see what's going on here. So she's like, where's Gary? Jordan telling her like he went outside to take a phone call. And Danny's like, well, congrats, it's a girl, like saying congrats on the baby or whatever. And the sister's like, well, thank you, it's our first one. So Andy's like who's first one? So the sister's like, me and Gary's. And I was just like, here we go. I did not see this. I really didn't see it coming. I was like, oh shit, it threw me way off. But I mean, it's Gary. How can we not be so surprised? And she says Gary is her fiance. I was just like, oh man, it's crazy. But I mean, it would have made sense until she started giving the timeline. So Sabrina was like, how long have you guys been together? And the sister was like, 3 years. And I was like, now I know that him and Andy just stopped talking to each other like a couple of weeks ago. So I was just like, sheesh. So he was doing all this for Andy, bought her an apartment. This nigga Gary got money. Like, he got money. He bought Andy a Rolls Royce, what she had the top floor condo. Like, that's crazy. Rooftop condo, whatever you want to call it. Not to mention the stuff he was spoiling her with, like gifts and bags of Chanel, whatever the stuff, Tiffany's, whatever the stuff the girls like, whatever. I was like, that's crazy. He got money though, cause like he out here. So one of them says Sabrina, or Danny says Andy's name, and the sister's like, oh, you're Andy. Like, Jordan seems so excited about you, da da da. And Jordan's like, well, let me go get Gary. Brings Gary back in. The sister's like, come over here, babe. Come over here. Give me a kiss. Come over here. Give me a kiss. So she give him a kiss. It's hella awkward in the room. I mean, the guys ain't awkward because they don't know what's going on. But the ladies, they making faces in hell. And I'm just like, in real life, you would be able to read the faces in the room. You would be able to read the energy. So the sister calls... No, so Gary says, me and the sister... I can't remember the sister's name. But he's like, me and her, we gonna go. And the sister's like, nah, we gonna stay. And she's like, she tells Andy, like, I want to get to know everything about you, Andy. And how about all of us ladies go and talk and let the men hang out? And Danny was like, okay, girl, you go sit down first and let us, and we'll be right behind you. So Danny and Andy and Sabrina, they kind of like huddle up. And Danny's like, Danny's basically like, I want to tell her. I want to tell the sister what's going on. So Andy and Sabrina are totally against it. They're like, no, she's pregnant. We don't need to be putting that stress on her, this, that, and the third. So Danny, she goes over to the sister anyway. Walks over. I got some chips for you, something she said. Popcorn. So then we get this scene like, now I see why Karen, now I can see why Karen didn't, now I can see why Karen was, dang, what was I about to say? Now I can see why Karen was on Zach's jock, because she don't got no storyline elsewise than this baby. Because we get this champ scene with her and the little contractor who's played by, if you watch The Shy, Rashad on The Shy. He also played on Smart Guy. I forgot we played on Smart Guy, but I forgot his name. Marcus something. His song, he sang on The Lion King. I Can't Wait to Be King or something like that. Y'all know who I'm talking about with the light voice or whatever. He's still getting residuals off that shit. That shit lit. So he comes over to give Karen the estimate of her getting her shop back up and running. And tells her it's going to take about 5 months for everything to be done. Then tells Karen if she If she needs anything for like the baby or things like that, then to let him know. Because him and his wife are like expert babies or whatever. So I'm just like, I wonder why they threw that in there. Is it going to be something with that too? So after hearing all this from the contractor dude, Karen calls Pam, tells her, I need you to pick me up some stuff from the beauty supply store. So then we get this scene, Calvin and Maurice, they preparing to go out to celebrate. You know, Maurice he off now. Him and Sabrina got off. So Maurice like, I'm gonna bring me somebody home. Calvin's like, you ain't learned nothing. He's like, we gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna find you a good, wholesome guy. So then we get the scenes. Fatima, they sitting inside the car outside of Heather's place, and then Fatima calls the lawyer, and he tells them that he can meet with them at 8 a.m. So they just gotta wait. Fatima's like, well, how about we just go in there and check on little Michael? So they get out the car, and then the neighbor, the little nosy neighbor, she comes over, tells them like, she saw little Michael limping, so Heather might have took him to the hospital, or may not. She also tells them, like, ever since they last visit, the men ain't been running up in and out of there no more. So that must be compliments of what's her name, Queen Madam from All the King's Men, whatever her name is. So Zach, he hands the neighbor lady some money. It's like, if you see or hear anything, please don't hesitate to call us. So the neighbor lady tries to fake get all offended, talk about something. I don't want your money. You think I want your money? I care about that little baby. So Zach and Fatima, they both was like, oh, we so sorry. We didn't mean to offend, this, that, and the third. So then the neighbor was like, well, if y'all didn't mean to offend, let me get some of that money. I was like, bro, are we serious? Like, are we serious? That's how people be though. This is wild. She wasn't about to let no money walk out. So Pam calls Karen, tells her she got everything from the beauty supply store. Karen tells Pam about the estimate she got. She said it's not that bad. So I'm wondering, like, do she actually have the money, or is she planning on asking Zach again? Now they're on good terms, maybe. Oh no, Andy said she's gonna give it to her. Yeah. But she tells Pam that the salon's gonna take 5 months to get back up and running. So she says she's thinking about taking all her clients in her house. And she was like, and Pam could work part-time. Pam's like, I got your back, girl. And she tells Pam to call all the clients, see if they be willing to come get their hair done at her house. Pam's like, you want me to use all my minutes? And I'm just like, what type of 2014 phone you got? Like, what? Is this supposed to be a back in the day show? What? You talking about minutes? What? I was so thrown off. Like, what's she talking about? You ain't that old to be having a phone with minutes, Pam. No, this are so dry up. So as a team, when they come out of a hospital, seemingly disappointed, they haven't found Michael. Fatima even mentions we don't have his last name, so it'd be hard to find him anyway. So Zach, he's sulking about Michael, thinking about Michael. They have a whole little heartfelt conversation where Fatima ends up telling him she had a miscarriage at 17. But she's like, but now I can have babies. She tells him she can't wait to have a baby with him. And of course, if you watch the team, then she already pregnant, so. So we get this final scene back at Jordan's place. The ladies, they go, of course, they follow Danny over there, Sabrina and Andy. They start grilling the sister, basically, and the sister basically is like, Gary's so attentive when he's not traveling. He bought me an apartment and a car. And Andy's just like stuffing the popcorn in her mouth. She shows them her wedding dress. So Danny basically assumes that the car Gary bought her was a Rolls Royce, like the one he bought Andy. So the sister was like, oh, no, I don't like flashy things. I feel like people that want those cars just want attention. So then Danny was like, well, Andy has that car. That's why I was making that joke. And the sister was like, oh, I didn't mean to offend. And then Danny was like, oh, no, a man bought that for Andy. And what's her name? The sister was like, oh, that sounds like my Gary. And Danny was like, you wouldn't even imagine. It's like exactly like Gary. Like to the T. It was just so funny. So then what's her name? The sister starts going more on about how much Jordan seems to like Andy and how good of a man Jordan is and how faithful he is. And she's like, I would never be with an unfaithful man. And Sabrina and Danny, Danny ain't holding back because she got that liquor up in her now. So she just like, oh, you would never know. You would never know. So she gets to, I don't know how much longer I can hold it. So the sister's like, what's going on? Sabrina's like, oh, Danny just can't hold her liquor. They trying to stop Danny from saying what she want to say. So the guys, they come over there, they start asking, like, what are you guys talking about? And the sister's like, oh, we talking about Gary and how much I love my man or whatever. It calls Gary over there to her. And the ladies start talking about, like, yeah, Gary, we talking about the apartment, the car, the timeline, the wedding. I was just like, oh my God. Gary sweating bullets. So Tony pulls Danny away to start dancing. Rich pulls Sabrina away to start dancing. The sister like, Jordan, pull Andy aside. Pull Andy aside, start dancing. Jordan goes over to Andy. Andy's like, oh no, how about the fiance's dance? How about they dance? So Gary and the sister go away to dance, and so then Andy gets up and basically starts teaching Jordan how to dance. So Jordan's like, what do you think about my sister, Andy? And Andy's like, well, she seems sweet. And Jordan's like, yeah, she's had her share of bad guys, and I'm so glad she met Gary. And I was like, oh, man, shaking my head. Like, now y'all got to tell her, man. I was like, y'all got to tell them now, man. Because these seem like wholesome people. Gary dancing with the sister, looking over at Andy and shit. Weird-ass nigga. So immediately somebody smells smoke. All the guys and the sister run out back to see what's going on. Andy and Sabrina like, all right, this is our chance. Let's get out of here. And Danny's like, no, I want to tell her, like, this is 2 black women that he playing with. I want to tell the sister everything. And then the sister walks up and like, what? And that's how it ended. And I'm just like, it was good because this whole pregnant sister fiance, she came out of nowhere. I did not see this coming. I did not see it coming at all. That's why I had to give it such a high rating. Because I really thought Gary was just trying to do some digging, see what was going on with Andy, and throw her off. So she'd be thinking about Gary the whole night and then blow it with Jordan. That's what I thought. But then the sister come, I was like, wow. So predictions for episodes to come, I don't even know. I don't even know what to think. I hope the team will get custody of Michael, though. That's the only thing I can think of. And Karen really irrelevant right now. She still ain't showing, so she really, really irrelevant. Then you about to be doing stuff in your house. She talking about, I'm going to have the fans, but you still be working with chemicals. I don't know how that shit work, but I don't even know. And this whole Andy, Gary, I told you Gary wasn't gone. I knew it wasn't over with them. I knew it wasn't. So it's just like, but those are my little thoughts or whatever you want to call it for episodes to come. Thanks for watching this review. And comment below what you would grade this episode, what you thought of this episode, what I talked about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, all that good stuff. Comment below. And like this video and subscribe to my channel because I don't only review Sistas. Like I said earlier, I review other shows as well. Go check out my Oval review and all my other reviews if you watch those shows. And I will see y'all in the next review. Peace.